Amazing is turning your lounge into a stadium. Debonair's Pizza. Try something amazing.
Hello and welcome to iDiskiTV. My name is Nkululeko Nkewu. I'm with Nkululeko Nkewu Lindo Pep and Sibata. Thank you very much for joining us. We reached 300,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing. In fact, we have over 600,000 human beings every month that watch us. Some months, 800,000 human beings. So we like for the rest of the people to be able to subscribe. Don't forget to do that. And thank you so much as well for making sure that you like and comment on our content as well. So, Mamelodi Sundowns out, Kaizer Chiefs out of the Carling knockout. It seems like a tournament in Namapati, all the big teams get out. Fortunately, they're still on the Pirates, so as long as Pirates are still there up until the final, at least the sponsors will not have sleepless nights. Kaizer Chiefs were knocked out by Stellenbosch at the Cape Town Stadium yesterday on penalties. In this video with Lindo Pep, we'll talk about them specifically, about the issue in leadership, issues on the bench, issues on upper management as well, as we would have been seeing them trying to intervene as they were trying to change the goalkeeper. Others are saying let the goalkeeper continue to play and so on. But I think it's bigger than that as well, because it does seem as though my suspicion is that if those coaches, the assistant coaches, Zaganabi, had won yesterday, that means Chiefs would have then gone to the next match and give it some time, and then if they win another one, then they go to the next match, give it some time. That's a lack of leadership. That's not decisive leadership for the biggest team in the country. You have to make a decision. You have to think about the fact that those assistants, Coach Nabi's assistants, if Coach Nabi is no longer at Chiefs, what is the point of retaining them in the first place? And also, from a decisive standpoint, why do you go from one match to another? One match, be decisive. Make a decision. Say, we are done. Thank you very much. You were ushering us up until the international window. After that, we are done. We've got a new coach. Thank you very much for joining us, sir. Yes, sir.
Nikren.
Yes,
Hope
sir.
you're good.
Yes,
Yesterday we saw comedy gold. We saw content gold. I think
it was not comedy gold.
I think
it was tragic. Even me and you were doing this.
It was embarrassing.
It was tragic.
For broadcasters, for content creators.
Yeah, for all of us, of course.
I thought that was gold for them. But for me, in my opinion, it was number one, it was a mess. Because during the course of the game, you are watching a team or both teams, in my opinion, where you're thinking to the match, can this match end now?
Yeah.
You know, some of us will never ever get the 2 hours back. You are sitting and you are watching the football game in the 90th minute, 45,000 people in the stands.
Yeah.
We are all cheering the biggest game of the weekend.
I mean, they had to delay the game because of so many people where, there was a stampede. They wanted to attend the game,
No,
that's how important for the people it was.
Nkululeko, the mess that happened before my penalty shootout is not that. I think also not having goal scoring opportunities during the course of the match. To have the whole entire 90-minute match, opportunity one for me was quite disappointing for a cup competition. I'm a cup competition, Mr. Nkewu, don't have to feel like a league game. And in South African football, you see the fans, they enjoy a cup competition. This Cape Town as well, because anyone can win, Mr. Nkewu. We were expecting attacking football. We were expecting to see an exciting match. Credit to Stevie Barker for he's treating this cup like a League Cup, Carabao Cup, where he's introducing players or fringe players that need game time, that need confidence. Credit to Abotato Kiba, Abotabo Mloisane, Oscarin Masuluga. He made an incredible save before he got injured.
Janine Palace as well.
Palace, I think he played an exceptional box-to-box. The boy who got a red card, I think, in duration of the match, he played exceptionally well. But if you come to the Kaizer Chiefs side, what we were watching, Mr. Nkewu, is a basketball match that didn't even have a dunk, in my opinion. So Stellenbosch tried at least a variation in terms of how they wanted to play. They tried to keep the ball.
I like the fact that you mentioned that it's both of them.
Yeah, but it's both of them.
It was both teams because there was no goal mouth action, and I think that there's because even with Sundowns we saw this Sundowns against Imarumo Gallants, that there was an attempt for a creativity with Sundowns, but it never led to shots at goal. If it did, it was very few. Imarumo Gallants, they were there to defend. Sundowns goes 10 men down. Gallants are not even trying to go for it. They were just dragging it to penalties as well. It's disappointing. Even the Pirates game, Makgopa gets a penalty, he misses it. and then there aren't too many chances,
Yeah.
and then it takes Umbogazi, a stunner from him from 25, 30 yards out. So
We have
if you
to be
look at
honest.
those big teams, you know, for the past weekend, like, they were not that great
Yeah, no,
matches.
they were not convincing. All big three teams. But credit to Orlando Pirates for, of course, getting a win.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
with regards to Stellenbosch, Mr. Nke, we have to speak about this. That's the reason why they didn't start well. And there's a reason why they are not starting well. You know why? They are not creating opportunities.
Yeah.
And I was looking at them, watching them, and I thought, well-coached team, technically very good, but don't create opportunities. Sometimes in football, you need to create
Yeah,
opportunities.
let's hold that precisely there, because me and you will love football. We
sure.
can be dragged into talking about the matchup.
Yeah.
I want me and you to talk only about the situation at Chiefs in terms of the coaching. Number one, do you think that the management has neglected the team by, number one, not being clear about what has happened to Nabi? Number two, allowing Nabi's assistants to continue? Number three, taking so long, waiting until they lose matches before they make a decision. Even number four, we don't know with this international window, with this 12, 14 days, whether or not they will make any decision, because their next game after international window will be CAF Confederations Cup. What do you think about the whole handling of it? And then we'll talk about actually the events in the game as well. But literally just because it's one thing leading to another.
Yeah.
Because they did it with Coach Kevin Johnson. Uguti. He was there as a head of youth.
Yeah.
And then they fire Coach Nseki, or whoever coach was fired at the time. And then Bangenga or Coach Kevin Johnson, but they say he's an interim. But they take him one game to another, and then if it starts losing, then they take him out. It's like, this is a lack of leadership.
Mr. Nke, what's more disappointing about Kaizer Chiefs is till today we don't know what they're trying to do. And for me, even from a coaching perspective, they've been chasing Coach Nabi for 2 seasons or for a season and a half. And when he came into the team, we all raised eyebrows because this has never been done at Kaizer Chiefs, where you'd see a coach coming in with his technical team. Number one, for me, he's a North African. It's very difficult to understand the Southern region and the type of players that we produce. It's a very completely different kind of a league. He comes in with his conditioning coaches. He comes in my opinion, when he came in, I did say that the players look heavy. They did not have an incredible season last year. They did not have a good season, wins the Nedbank Cup, comes into the season. And in the first 3 games, they do communicate with the club, with the fans to say, and the media, the coach has problems. And immediately after that, he comes back, he gets a loss against his Kukuna United. They send communication to say the coach is suspended. We are expecting the very same communication. And from a management perspective, because Mr. Nke, we have to say this, we are not in those conversations. We are privy enough to understand what is happening, what we see on the pitch, what we read in terms of the media. But from a management, they needed to be decisive. I always say that big clubs, big companies are not afraid to make ruthless decisions. And for me, they made a ruthless decision by not putting me on the bench. But to keep the assistant coaches, number one, it's telling you that the club is lacking vision. Number 2, it's telling you that the club doesn't have direction. Number 3, it's also saying to the fans, we are not sure what we are doing here, because already now you start to question some of the players that are not playing. What is happening with Ulebu Mabue? Where's the communication? Is he injured or not? What is happening with Aboshinga? You brought the boy from Portugal. He's not involved in the play. Is he injured or not? Communicate. What's happening to Shizlet? Communicate with us. Communicate with the media so that we can
Even
stop.
with the handling of Gaston Sereno.
Mr. Nkewu, stop the speculation. You are a big institution. You are a big club. Clickbait. We are going to say these things. We are going to communicate these things because you are not sending direction. And
I think even just on that point, like, just look at those 3 coaches: Ilyas Mzugni, Khalil Ben Youssef, Cedric Kaze. Leadership is about being clear to them that we are going to take Cedric Kaze or Khalil Ben Youssef. I'm not preferring one or another, but in this period, we're going to take one of you. You're going to be the head of all of you. So that the goalkeeper coach, Mzugni, becomes the goalkeeper coach. He doesn't become a goalkeeper coach who also looks like he's making his own substitution. And I think this is where there's a disconnect and there's a leadership crisis, because in matches themselves, you see all of them standing up and all of them giving instructions, and you don't know whether or not those instructions, at full time yesterday, at 90 minutes, Mzugni was a goalkeeper coach. He goes to Lilepo and he touches him like this and he talks to him, right? That's a striker.
You question that.
Immediately. I'm like, why is he talking to a striker? And then in that blunder of a moment, he goes to Uvuma. That's a goalkeeper. So then you question his roles and responsibility. So he has to train Uvuma, which that should be his primary job, to warm up, and whatever decision he makes that decision as a goalkeeper coach. But then what is he doing with Ulilepo? What is he doing in the substitutes bench? And I think that I have a serious problem with that.
I have a serious problem with that myself, Mr. Nkewu, because my belief is they've lost the dressing room. because I've seen an incident where Ucele was having having an argument with the coach on screen, and I thought to myself, there's a disconnect there. Some people might say Wendell Robson used to do it under Coach Rulani or Coach Mangoba, where he would stand up and give instruction. But even from last season, one thing that we spoke about was I don't like a dressing room that's loud. Number one, I don't like a technical team that is too loud, that it has too much movement, because there needs to be one leader. Only one or two people can give instructions to football players. In a crowd like that, even football players abakuzwa kahle when you're giving them instruction. Number two, Mr. Nkewu, is that the biggest football clubs or successful football clubs, the players have led, and successful teams have been led by incredible football players that take charge in matches of consequence, in situations of consequence. And my belief is the Kaizer Chiefs players are being failed by the technical team. Number two, the technical team is failing the management because they themselves can't lead themselves on the technical area.
Yeah.
For me, there needs to be clear communication. Who is the interim coach? If you can't say you've got two assistant coaches. This is the biggest institution in the country. And communication has to be clear, Mr. Nkewu. And for me, with regards to the players on the pitch, I would ask the players as well to take some leadership. More especially players like Abu Mikel, more especially players like Abu Victor Kwinika. Because I think that they could have calmed that situation down.
You keep calling him Victor.
I don't know. Zita
His
Kwinika.
name is Zita. I can see it sounds similar.
Yeah.
His name is Zita Kwinika.
Zita Kwinika. You know, leadership from the players. Successful teams were led by players. The tactical area, it's important to have a coach that is ruthless.
Yeah.
You need a coach that is able to say, I am the leader, I will take the blame if the team is not doing well. So you can see there, Mr. Nkewu, that there's broken relationships. I believe that one of the two were Nabi's trustees. And you can tell that there's a lack of betrayal that is there, that maybe the goalkeeper coach might feel towards Unabi. Because his involvement and the confidence and the energy of how he moves, you can tell that he's a trustee, Coach Nabi. You can tell within his corners within themselves. Cedric was brought in as an assistant, but also as a translator. He moves from being a translator to being a head coach. He's the one Omile at the touchline, at the biggest club in the country, the most followed club in South African football. Yeah. For me, it's a mess that needed to be sorted out before the transfer window. Yeah. They get in the new coach. He's got 14 days to work with those players. Number two, that I saw a lack of trust in the Kaizer Chiefs is that, Mr. Nkewu, Babe Ucele pension. They brought Ucele from Europe to come and add impact. I know Junior says sometimes he lacks character, but he's better than all of those midfielders there. He's probably the one that gives them comfort, control, and the arrogance sometimes on the ball. He understands how to play for a big club. You don't understand what is happening with Augustin Serino. It's a situation that they needed to sort. Augustin Serino is the best player at Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah, the best attacker.
The best attacker at Kaizer Chiefs. You need your best players performing. You need your best players doing very well. You don't know what's happening with Ashley Dupree. There's lack of trust. They brought in Silva. He's not playing. Morris comes out of nowhere to come and take a crucial penalty in the season of Kaizer Chiefs. Mr. Nkewu, 4 of Kaizer Chiefs players got those penalties. It was now up to Morris. And also, there's 2 things that happened in this situation. Untuari, I would have hoped, Mr. Nkewu, that Untuari should have left the field. Because now, Lento Yazienzan, the blame it's on him, but both with the coaches. But I wanted this thing to be decided that Untuari moves out of the pitch, Vuma. If Kaizer Chiefs loses, the blame goes to the coaches.
And Bruce Vuma, I was surprised. Okay, after the fact we saw Untuari, which okay, now he's not that great with penalties because he jumps his line and he dives first before they kick. So they can kind of see where he's going to go, like split second before they kick their penalty. But Bruce Vuma, if it was intelligence, intelligence is research before a game. If the decision was based on that, they would have known. There's a famous penalty that they play against Milford with a Bank Cup, and it's comical now that we watch it on social media because Bruce Vuma is facing penalties against the national first division team and he dives one way the whole time and they win the penalty in Milford. And I think there's people who've already done the stats now to say he's actually never really, I don't know if he's ever saved one or if he has, it's not like he's got a good record on penalties. But then, now that we also saw Untuari, it's like, okay, I can see why they didn't trust him as well.
Actually, that's what we were saying.
But they could have avoided that situation by, number one, you pre-plan those moments. You with Edwin van der Sar, for example, with Netherlands, and with Tim Krul, there were 2 goalkeepers. I think with Stekelenburg and Tim Krul at the World Cup. Tim Krul is a goalkeeper in small teams in England, Newcastle and Norwich, right? and is a second is on the bench for in Netherlands. But the Netherlands knows that if we're in the knockout phase of a World Cup and we need a penalty saver, we're going to use him. He knows that. That's his detail. In fact, Longa Pagati doesn't even worry too much about penalties and studying them because he knows if we're going to go to penalties, I'm going to be substituted for Tim Krul. And he did it and he saved 3 penalties and then they go to the next round with Tim Krul. So that's their strategy. But it didn't even look like Untuari knew in advance that he was going to come out for Uvuma.
You know what they say to us, media? Cedric says it was pre-planned during pre-season that Untuari will play the Nedbank Cup, right, Mr. Nkewu?
Sure.
But now this is what's happening. They play Untuari. Untuari has a good game in terms of handling because there's a shot that he saves in duration of the game. He saves the first penalty with De Jong. And I'm just thinking in my head that he's probably thinking, these guys wanted to sub me. I'm making a big save and I'm saving their job because if they win here, people are going to say, keep these guys. And the other second penalties, he probably thought to himself, I'm not going to make a save. I'm definitely not going to, because for me, I saw somebody who's uninterested. I saw a little bit of a lack of professionalism because he would move out first, the line in before the kick. Penalty, say Stevens. It will tell you everything. Say Stevens, we pass you understand? I'm thinking. That's why I said for me, the decision to take him out, for him to even say no, exposes the dressing room disconnect.
Yeah, the dynamic.
The dynamics will into that because you can tell that certain players about too comfortable. They are able to even tell the coaches that no. For me, it was very comical. Another thing is I needed him to come out for this reason. I wanted Kaizer Chiefs, if they win, the credit goes to the coaches for making the right decision. But if they don't win, the spotlight is on them. Number 2, Mr. Nkewu, the penalty Maurice. There's 2 things in that I analyzed. Number 1, Maurice hasn't played. It's a player that they brought in. There were so many speculations about him going around.
He was about to leave. Yeah.
They gave him that penalty. It was a penalty that would win Kaizer Chiefs the game. That would have boosted his confidence. But number 2, in my opinion, you're throwing Maurice under the bus. The guy has never even touched the ball in the game.
Yeah, even the game, it wasn't long in the game for him to be fit enough to take a penalty.
Miguel, in games of consequence, he's the one that steps up to go and take a penalty. Where was he to take a crucial penalty in the season in Kaizer Chiefs? Because Mamelodi Sundowns is out. Stellenbosch is, Kukuna United is out of there. It's only Orlando Pirates. It would have been, I'm not saying easy because camp competitions are a little bit subjective, but it would have been another route. Orlando Pirates is playing against Amakhosi at home. Kaizer Chiefs would have had that fixture. Maybe they would have been in the semi-final. Anything could have happened. So they had an opportunity to try something in this competition. And I see why the fans are frustrated, but I would not encourage the violence from the fans because after the game, the fans, apparently they were throwing things inside the stadium. But the decision from the 2 coaches is really, really now putting spotlight into that huge football club, but putting spotlight into their own personal careers.
Let's wrap it up. Let's go to management then. Clearly, this is a failure of management, I think, in my opinion, because I'm not looking at this in isolation. I'm looking at what they've done before. As I mentioned, Kevin Johnson, the example that they bring him in for head of development and youth, and then they ask him to do a job because they fired a coach. And then after that, because it's literally you move from one point to another because you lost a match and now if Kevin wins all the games then he was gonna stay. It's like no, but if you wanted him to be a coach, he should have been the coach in the first place, not head of development. So even these guys, because they qualified for the next round of the CAF Confederations Cup, now they get to have another shot. If they had qualified yesterday for the next round of the Culling, then they get to have another shot. It's like, no, that's not how you look at it as a big team, as the biggest team in the country. Where are they going now? Because whatever we're going to say here, it's possible that in this international window, they might make a decision, but also it's possible because of them and their indecision that they might not make any decision. What can you preempt for us, good management, or what could you tell them to do in this period?
Mr. Nkewu, I think this is the right time for Kaizer Chiefs. In the last 5 years, they've tried to do it their way. And sometimes, Mr. Nkewu, in life in general, I'm going to use this analogy. Sometimes in life, Mr. Nkewu, indlela yakho mayihlulile as a person. You start seeking for help. You start having mentors. If not a mentors, you start going to church to find help, to seek help, to say, mina angihlulekile ngendlela.
You go to rehab sometimes.
You go to rehab. You do different things. You say, esan, mina ngizamile ngihlulekile ngendlela zami. Mr. Nkewu, bengicela ungisize ngento sona so. I think this is the time for Kaizer Chiefs to accept failure, to accept that, okay, we've had some good things. We've run this football club very well over the years. We've won leagues. We've won domestic competitions. We've brought in the right players. We've changed people's lives. We've brought in stars. We've made stars. But this is the right time now to hand over the club to somebody who can protect, number one, the investment of the club, which is the technical sporting director. Yes, Junior is the sporting, but I think that they need a technical director. There's Farouk Khan, who's available there. There's so many people that you can speak about in South Africa that can help them in that space. A technical, somebody who can work hand in hand with the coach. I can speak very highly of Farouk Khan. Number one, he sent so many players to European football. He understands the development. He understands South African football. Number two, this is the right time to say, we are giving you 3 years, coach. Do this for us. These are your mandates. And the perfect coach to do that is Coach Pitso. Initially, I said Coach Pitso will never coach Kaizer Chiefs because they will never be willing to sacrifice that, the control. Coach Pitso is the right coach now for Kaizer Chiefs to help them build a project, and a project that might sustain them for the next 10 to 15 years.
Especially if they give him control.
They give him control. Player control. They give him squad control. They give him auditing control. They give him everything that will make him not just a coach but a manager. They don't need a coach now at Kaizer Chiefs. They need somebody who's going to manage that football club. They need a coach who's going to say, no matter if he's a good player, I don't think he would be suitable for where we are going and the direction that we want to take. And for me, Coach Pitso comes in and he fixes the structure of the teams. He comes in, he fixes the auditing. He comes in, he fixes the development. He links both teams. He builds a strategy that might sustain Kaizer Chiefs for the next 5 to 10 years. He also, in the meantime, Coach Pitso, this is what he's good at. He will win them a trophy there and there. Get them 5 wins in a row. Maybe lose 2 or 3. Also, when he comes in, they should not expect him to win each and every single game.
That's the importance of the 3 years.
The 3 years. They should never. The first year, Coach Pitso, they've lost 2. The only Nedbank Cup. Even if he doesn't win anything this season, it's still okay. Coach Pitso, we've lost 1 game this season. Yes, you might win so many matches, but you might lose there and there, draw. But we are giving you this season to build as a team. Next season, what we are expecting from you is top 3. We are expecting a domestic trophy, and we are expecting to push in the African competition. The 3rd season, we are expecting you to compete for the league. And do we have the tolerance for that? Do the Kaizer Chiefs fans have the tolerance for that? I think they're going to have to build the tolerance.
The messaging of that is that even if Coach Pitso loses 3 matches in a row, always release a statement to say, we have given Coach Pitso 3 years, he's going to stay 3 years. That's where the leadership comes.
Pitso Mtsipe backed him. There was a season where I remember very well. They wanted him out.
Yeah.
Coach Pitso Patrice Mtsipe came in and said, I back Coach Pitso. Even under Urulani, Klopp came in and said, Coach Urulani is the future of Mamelodi Sundowns. That's exactly what they need to come in and do. To say, even if Coach Pitso is not doing well, we are going to support him. Kaizer Jr., the technical director, Farouk Khan, he needs to come, or whoever that they bring into that space to say, hello, we are supporting this guy, the players that he wants, because we are not building a team that's only going to be dominant now. We are building a team that's going to dominate for the next 5 to 10 years.
All right, there you go. Thank you very much, Lindo Pep. That's a discussion regarding Kaizer Chiefs. I would like you to engage with us in that discussion as well. Let us know what you think about it. We will see in the next 7 days as Bafana gears up to play Zimbabwe, whether or not Chiefs will make any decision. I think that there is an issue with the neglecting of that team and that brand. They still are. I think if Chiefs stop playing football for the next 10 years and come back, they will still be the biggest and the best football brand in this country. And that's how big they are. That's how much of a gap they have between them and their rivals. So they need then to take better care of that brand. Will they hire a new coach? What do you think? Please let us know in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching us. For breaking news, go to iDiskiTimes.co.za.